What's cracking, baby? Welcome to Manu 2 Sports. Hey, we got 24 days left until finally we get some kickoff, baby. Football is here. Football is in the air. Hard Knocks was on last night. Check that out. It was pretty cool. I can't wait. Football's around the corner. Texas had the pads on today. I'm ready to start talking about this football team and what we expect from them this year. It's going to be a crazy season, and I, for one, can't wait. Over the next couple of days, I'm going to be going over the different position battles in the trenches, the different position battles in the secondary, on the offensive line. We're going to talk position by position and kind of progress throughout the team until we get to hopefully just a couple of days before kickoff, and then we'll see what's up. We'll see what's cracking, baby. Let's get it going.
Manu 2, let's go to work.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Manu 2 Sports. I am your main man, Manny Man. Hey, man, the Longhorns are up and running. Practice had the pads on today. Sark was on late kick yesterday. If you didn't get to check that out, go check that out, man. That guy puts awesome content out. Awesome analysis. I don't always agree with them, but great interview yesterday with Sark. Go check that out if you haven't already. But hey, man, I've been hearing all summer. This is every year, man, really. Texas is always doubted, and rightfully so. We haven't performed up to standard for over a decade now, so I think we're due. I think this year is finally the year we're finally going to break through. But let's talk about why. Let's get into what is different about this team. And that's one thing that I've been I don't have to ponder. I know my team, man. I understand this is the team that I follow, the team that I love. I understand what has gone on at Texas over the years, more so than any outsider. Longhorn Nation, I think, understands this, but we still get the people that they just don't see it, man. And I get it. You hear the same stuff over and over. Sark's never won over 10 games in a season. Sark's this and that. Sark blows leads in the second half. Sark just can't get over the hump. All right, we get it. So why is this year going to be different? Couple of things. Number one is Sark's never really stayed anywhere long enough to see the fruits of his labor. And he'll tell you himself, if you talk to him now about his time in Washington, how when he took the job at USC, he was more, kind of destination focused. So, Washington is a prestigious university, but let's be honest, it's not USC. You get the job at USC while you're at Washington, most coaches are going to take that. Very few people are going to turn that job down. That's just the reality. So, same thing with Texas. Programs like Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, USC, even Alabama, they've got that kind of pedigree. And so Sark hasn't been at any one school for an extended period of time to see the fruits of his labor kick in. Not only that, as bad as it may have been at Texas when he took over, man, at Washington had won like one game the previous 2 seasons before Sark got there. He literally took over a team that hadn't won a game. So, this right here at Texas, it wasn't quite that. Yeah, it was bad the first year, but he wasn't taking over a team who couldn't win a game the previous year. That just wasn't it. So that's one. Sark been here 3 years. The staff's had continuity with the exception of making a running back change because Stan Drayton took the job at Temple, and making a couple of wide receiver position coach changes. Other than that, staff continuity has been there, and everybody knows that Sark coaches the wide receivers just as hard as any of his position coaches. So, we got that. The other thing is, and this is the main thing, right, is that you hear people talk about Texas and what Texas has done in the years. I've said before in previous videos, whatever Texas did in the past, throw that shit out the window, man. That shit doesn't matter. Who gives a damn what Texas did in the past? Nobody. It doesn't factor into this equation. The bottom line is we got a new coaching staff, we got new position coaches, we got a brand new system that we've been in for going into our third year now. And so that you have to evaluate the program based on that. Okay? Sark comes in year one after Sark. No players get drafted. What does that tell you? That should tell you that the players were not being developed up to standard. We know Texas had talent. We know Texas had been bringing in good recruiting classes. Attrition aside, if you're a Longhorn fan, you know there were attrition issues, and that's one thing. But the fact that you still filled the roster, and you didn't fill the roster with scrubs, those were good players. But they were not being developed up to standard, and that's why after Sark's first year, you saw nobody get drafted into the NFL. Okay? That's not on Sark. As much as people may want to wish and hope that that's an indication that Sark's just not doing a good job, it just isn't so. You don't develop NFL players overnight. You don't turn a player into an NFL player in 1 year if the development that he's been through in years prior was lacking. And it's obvious that development was lacking. Okay, we're not going to get into that. The proof is in the pudding. After Sark's second year, what happens? Keandre Coburn, Moro Ojimo, DeMarvion Overshown. These were players that going into the second year with Sark, nobody was looking. These players were looked at almost as underachievers, man. To be honest with you, there's video clips of people saying if it looked like a duck, it walked like a duck, it is a duck. Okay, about my man Coburn specifically, and look where he's at today with the Kansas City Chiefs. That's a clear sign of development. That is what a good coaching staff does. Okay, so take that, crumble it, throw it in the trash. When people come at you with that, it's easy to dispute. Right? The other thing, when we're talking about Texas, and we're talking about how the program has been for over a decade, and we talk about recruiting, yes, we've had good recruiting, but at no point in the past decade could you look at the Texas quarterback room and say, man, they have 3 NFL arms in that quarterback room. You could not say that at no point in the past decade. Don't tell me you could. Okay, so that's different, because I'm telling you now, we got 3 NFL quarterbacks in that room, baby. We got Quinn Ewers, number 1 overall quarterback 2 classes ago. We got Malik Murphy. That dude has a cannon, and he's huge. And running behind him right now, we got Arch Manning. He's been on campus all the 6 months, 8 months. Come on, man. Like, we got NFL caliber talent at the quarterback position across the board. All right, let's talk about offensive line. Number 1 is going back to development. Offensive linemen, they just hadn't been developed. You can go back and look at the last time Texas had an offensive lineman drafted. You're going to be looking for a while. Okay. Recruiting was good. Recruiting was solid. Texas had talent. We haven't brought in any recruit at the level of a Kelvin Banks or a DJ Campbell in some time. Okay. These were the highest of the highest blue chippers available in the 2022 season, 2022 recruiting season. We hadn't had that. Okay. We had good recruits. We hadn't had that. Okay. Then you bring in the other guys who were, quite frankly, also had high upside. Guys like Neto Umeozulu, guys like Cole Hudson. Okay, I don't think anybody expected Cole Hudson to come in and start last year. As a matter of fact, I can tell you nobody expected that. We talked about it, and all we talked was about DJ Campbell. I was in Twitter Spaces with Longhorn Nation. We talked about Kelvin Banks. A lot of people talked about NATO. Some people talked about Agbo. Okay, we were hyped up for the offensive line, but nobody saw Cole Hudson. That man is doing his thing. That dude is putting in work. And as much praise as Kelvin Banks get, and rightfully so, Cole Hudson deserves some credit, man, because he stepped in as a freshman too. No matter whether you like it or not, he stepped in as a freshman too. And though he wasn't as dominant as Kelvin Banks, that is a tall order for any freshman. Okay, so that's different about the team. Our offensive line is coming back. The entire offensive line. We can go into development at the offensive line too and talk about guys like Kristen Jones and Hayden Connor. Not so much Hayden Connor because he's actually a true junior. But Christian Jones had been here for a while. And Sark's first year, he looked like a freshman. Because that was the level to which these guys were being developed, man. I mean, Christian Jones was way behind. You look at Christian Jones today, you know, I want somebody to look me in the eye and tell me they don't think Christian Jones is going to be an NFL draft pick. So I got a feeling, you know, he's for sure going to be gone after this year, and I think he's going to be cashing an NFL paycheck once he leaves the 40 acres. So there's that. Hey, running back. We got one of the best recruiters, one of the best coaches at the running back position. Okay, and some people would try to take credit away from him for what he did with Bijan. We all realized it wasn't all TC. That Bijan was gonna be Bijan. I mean, this dude is the star of stars. Okay, but TC did his work with Bijan. Now TC came from Georgia Tech. At Georgia Tech, he worked with Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr Gibbs was another running back drafted in the first round this year. So TC has got the pedigree, he's got the record to prove it, and he's bringing in recruits left and right. I mean, this dude is basically taking the pick of the litter, man. He goes out there, who do I want? Oh, I don't want this dude, I want this dude. Bam! Got him, baby. That's TC. Tashard Choice, former Dallas Cowboy, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. And then don't let me I haven't even talked about the wide receivers. I haven't even talked about the tight end room. Okay? We are loaded down, baby, and we're ready to go. On the defensive side, I was talking to some Bama fans earlier today. They don't think we have the depth. They don't know, man. They don't know what's going on here. Couple of things. Trevonde Sweat. Murph Dog. Alfred Collins. Okay, these boys are ready to roll, man. Baron Sorrell's coming back at the edge. Ethan Burke is there. Justice Flinkley. They all played last year. We've been hearing noise about some of the sophomores are in there doing their thing. We got Jalen Ford at the linebacker position. Jahdae Barron. Corners, Taron Watts. Gavin Holmes is in from Wake Forest. At the safety position, have you all seen that boy from Arkansas? Woo-wee! Jalen Catalon, baby. Oh, man, I can't wait. I can't wait for my boys to get on the field against Bama because I just know we're going to show out. So, over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about the different position battles and what we're hearing out of practice. Can't wait to hear more about how the team looked today with full pads on finally. Word on the street is Saturday is the first scrimmage. We're hoping that Sark comes out and gives us some intel on when the fans are going to be able to get out there and check out an open practice. I sure hope they do that again like they do last year. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. We're going to say our Hail Marys and our Fathers that we have no injuries in our scrimmages. And we're going to keep it rolling, baby. Stay locked in with me for more content on the Texas Longhorns, I am your man, Manny Man. Boom. Manu 2 Sports, baby. Keep it locked in. Keep it coming. Keep it rolling. Hook 'em horns. Thank you for listening to Manu 2 Sports. Please don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow us for more content.